Hi, everybody. Hello, sister.
Hello, sister. Listen, that intro music be having me up here like. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Hey, everybody. It's a good day to be alive.
Yes, indeed. It is a good day to talk about networking and the power of connections.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. So many people, it's surprising. Like, people are afraid of public speaking. Like, that's been the mainstay forever.
Yep.
It's kind of interesting how many people are fearful of networking,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
Hey, Arlene, I see you.
Hi.
Hello.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially if you may not feel like your personality thrives on that. Like there are certain people, they go into a
Introverts.
room, right? And they're going to meet everybody in the room. And then there are some that are like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some people like me, you talk about introverts and extroverts. I am a introverted extrovert.
me
Uh,
too.
When I'm on, but when I get home, it's like I'm done. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to answer the phone. So it takes a lot of energy and muscle to network.
Yeah.
And that's the point that I want to drive home. Networking is one of my favorite things to talk about, so much so I wrote a book about it.
Yes.
Wrote a song about it. Want to hear? Here it go.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Hard workers work hard, networkers move up, right?
Yes.
And the reason why that was so important to me is because, like some of you who are watching, I grew up in a household where what goes on in this household stays in this house, right? And you learn to put on the masks that are required for the situation. So when I'm home, I'm one way. When I'm in public, I'm another way. When I'm at work, I'm another way, right? So how many of you are wearing different masks to meet the situation, whatever the setting is, right? And so that's what I learned growing up, that you act a certain way in different settings, and it's not okay to just be yourself, just be you, right? You've got to play the part. And I was also taught that you keep work, work, you keep personal, personal, don't mix the two, because my parents grew up in a time where that wasn't safe. It was not safe to commingle the two, right?
Yeah.
My mother grew up in Greenville, Alabama, segregated. She marched with Martin Luther King, right? And just she experienced all kinds of segregation, hatred, all those things. So she learned how to be safe around other people, how to mix and mingle. But at the same time, she was a people person. My dad's more of an introvert, but he had a similar upbringing, right? So we learn from our support system, the people who pour into us.
Yeah.
And so from that, I learned to, not commingle with my coworkers. And early on in my career, they'd be like, "How was your weekend?" "Fine." "What'd
Yeah.
you do?" "Nothing." Right? I did not share. I did not commingle. "Hey, Debbie." And I see somebody said all these different masks almost made me feel like I had multiple personalities. Ain't that the truth?
That is
Listen.
the truth.
And you do have multiple personalities. And sometimes you feel schizophrenic.
Right. You feel like you're all over the map. And
Yeah.
I had a similar experience, Crystal, because my parents were Caribbean, and coming over here as immigrants, their experience was often not safe.
Yeah.
They felt very unsafe as they were trying to find the American dream and manifest that for themselves.
Yeah.
So they taught me some of the same lessons. And to add insult to injury, I was an only child.
Oh, wow.
So my propensity is that of an introverted extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
And my father, like yours, was an introvert. My mother was an extrovert. So I'm watching how they navigate relationships, conversations,
Mm-hmm.
home time, holidays. They had a different way of getting energy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I want to share because, when you're an introvert, a lot of people for a long amount of time can suck that energy and that battery down to zero. And sometimes you can feel the ooh,
Yep.
like what is happening? For the extrovert, often people give them energy,
Yes.
right? So it's such a different experience.
Yeah.
And my parents coming over here and having, like your parents, an experience where they had to figure out how to be safe and who they could be safe with,
Yeah.
they taught me the same thing. They're
Right.
like, you don't tell people at work what you do personally.
Right.
You don't let them know that you have a focus other than work. God forbid you tell them a hobby. You don't
Right.
share anything personal.
Yep.
And what they really didn't recognize they were teaching me was to not be authentically myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where the magic happens, right? When we find out how to be authentically ourselves and connect. Because networking is truly about connecting.
Yeah.
Hey, Debbie. No, no, Debbie, that is not me today. I am totally different because I have learned how to use that muscle. I
Yeah.
had, but it was a process for me. And hey, Sheila, good to see
I
you,
feel
Sheila. Type in the chat if you are an introvert or extrovert or introverted extrovert. We want to see who's in the room.
yeah.
Um, and let's talk a little bit, sis, about if you are well, I think actually we need to talk about both because one of the things I notice with extroverts is they run around the room and they're talking to everybody and they're getting energy from the crowd, but sometimes they're not necessarily connecting. So when we talk about networking, we're not meaning you're on every scene, you're seen on every scene. That's not what we're talking
Yeah.
about. We're
Yeah.
talking about when you make deep connections with people
Yeah.
where they know something about you after the conversation and you know something about them. I see an ambivert in here. Debbie says she's a schizophrenic.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I
That's
understand. I
hilarious.
understand. So we're talking about like really making connections. And on the introverts, hi Aya or Aya,
Yeah.
she's in the middle. Shakiva says she's an introverted extrovert. So you're like me, right? We've learned how to use that muscle.
Yeah.
So how do people connect, Nicole? What would you say? What's the best way to connect with other people in networking settings?
Well, a lot of people, may not like this answer, but it's being willing to share the space
Yeah.
with the other person, right? It's
Mhm.
showing up and being willing to share the space to learn something about them, give them the opportunity to learn something about you. And one of the things that I think is key is you can be intentional about who's in the room,
Yeah.
intentional about who you want to meet, and intentional about what kind of experience you want to have. But in addition to that, be intentional about a willingness to give and serve,
Right.
not just, okay, I want to meet this person because I want this person to do this for me,
Yeah.
because they want to be seen as an authentic being the same way you want to be seen as an authentic being. So that I think is really key. You can be clear about the intentions of who's going to be there and all of that, which is more strategic in nature. But for me, that networking piece is about sharing the space as authentically as possible, which
Yeah.
means you got to listen
Yeah.
so that you can respond to the authenticity that's given to you.
Yes.
And then it's like tennis,
Yep.
right? You just go back and forth until there's a rhythm.
Yes. And you ask questions that are open ended to learn more about people. And listening is so key, right? It is so key. Because you can, if you listen, you can think of questions to go further, to go deeper, to get below the surface. And just know that most people in those settings are a little uncomfortable if they don't know everybody.
Mhm.
So the fact that you are engaging with them and really listening and finding ways to connect is so critical, and it just it makes a difference. It really makes a difference in the connection. One of the tools I've been given in the past about networking events was, do your research before going, pick out people, have a list of maybe like the top 3 or 5 people that you want to meet. And so you're going to make sure that you connect with them before you leave, right? I think that's still great advice for business development. However, I want to add to that,
Mhm.
it's so important not to get so fixated on who can help you
Yep.
that you miss making connections with other people that you may be able to serve, or that may just be good friends in the long term, or just a good connection. You never know who's in the room
Right.
and what the connection is about. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that everything happens for a reason. And when I meet people, one of the things I like to say is, I don't know how I'll be able to serve you in the future, or you'll be able to serve me. But I'm glad we made this connection. And I hope that we can continue to foster this relationship, because you never know if you're there to, be a help, a service to them, or them for you. And a lot of times when we get so focused on, I need to meet the people in the room that can help me get where I'm trying to go, it comes across, and that energy is very noticeable, right? And people know that you're there for that one reason. You're looking, and I see Ariel said, helping others is the reason why I love to connect. That's what it's about. It's about service. It's about service, humility, and excellence, connecting with people and seeing how you can be of service to them. And as a byproduct, you will always meet people who want to serve you. When you serve in excellence and in humility, other people always want to serve you.
Well, one of the things that's interesting is your mindset
Yeah.
around networking. If you see the value in connection, that becomes your driving intention,
Yeah.
right? So when you're in the room, you never see the possibility that the room would be useless.
Right.
You never look at the room from a standpoint of, I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm going to get from this, right? You look at it from the standpoint of, my intention is to connect. So I'm going to leave myself open enough
Yes.
where people who I am in proximity with can see me. And if they're open, I can see them. And that connection can make a memorable moment.
Yeah.
Because when you're intentional about connecting, you are open to whatever the experience can be.
And it's so funny. I like that you said, a lot of times, even in dating, right? Networking and making connections is just like dating, right? We go in, and how many of you show up with that spirit and that energy of the dread? I don't want to go. I don't want to be here, right? That energy just radiates from you. And energy is transferable.
Right.
And we don't always realize that what we put out, the energy that we put out, comes back to us. And so if we go into, when we feel that dread, change the mindset to, oh, this is going to be exciting. I'm really excited to attend this event. Looking forward to meeting some amazing people and, connecting with some people. And you go in with that intention, it really changes your energy so that you attract the right people.
And sis, I've never gone into a dynamic at a networking event where I've gone up and I've said, "Hello, ladies. My name is Nicola Beach. Might I join your conversation?" I've never had anybody say, "No, go away, get away from here."
Right. Exactly.
Gentlemen, how are you? I'm
Yeah.
so and so. Is it okay if I join you for a moment? And they're usually like, "Sure, come on in."
Yeah.
The angst that we often have
Mm-hmm.
is a feeling,
Mm-hmm.
but as we say in our tribe, it's not a fact.
Right.
It's a feeling. So, oh my God, if I go over there, they're probably having this deep private conversation. I'm going to be intruding. I'm going to be the odd person out. I don't know if they're going to like me. They probably just met,
Yeah.
or this is their second time meeting,
Yep.
right? And they're making a reconnection, and a new energy brings new possibility.
Absolutely. And I'm going to give a shout out right now to the Ron Clark Academy
Yeah.
here in Atlanta. Dr. Nicole and I are in a networking group called CEON, CEO Netweavers. And as part of that group, we were able to participate in the Great Shake competition at the Ron Clark Academy. If you ever get the opportunity to attend, oh my God, it's the most amazing thing you've ever seen, because these little kids, these middle schoolers, they're amazing, right? It's a competition on networking. They're going around, there's several rounds where they get eliminated, and then those who make it to the end win this prize. But they're learning at that age how to interrupt and join a conversation politely. They're learning how to connect with people on different levels, find a way to, if they ask you a question and what college did you go to? And then you tell them, they go, "Oh my God, I know somebody who went to that college," or "I've looked at that school, that's on my list." They find a way to connect with you based on what you share with them, and ask the right questions to engage you. And to see these young people navigate this networking event the way that they do is so amazing. And it just really drives home how it's a skill, it's a muscle, right? We need to work that, exercise that muscle. And unfortunately, most of us didn't go to a Ron Clark Academy, right? Most of us didn't get that experience. We did not learn how to network properly. So if you feel uncomfortable in those situations, don't beat yourself up.
Right.
If you feel like you don't have the skills, don't look down on yourself or feel bad about yourself. Just understand that it is a skill that can be learned.
Yeah.
It's a muscle that can be strengthened. You just have to put yourself out there. You have to be vulnerable enough to introduce yourself to people, get to know people, connect with people. Like Dr. Nicole said, when people are having a conversation and you get all those things in your mind that they don't want to meet me, they're having this conversation, I'm interrupting. Understand that that's you, that's your limiting beliefs. You don't know those people and what they're talking about, right? Push past that. And we call that the terror barrier. If you're not registered for our upcoming Woman Unlimited, the link is scrolling below. We're going to be talking about this and all things that unbind and unleash your unlimited potential. Because it really comes down to pushing past our terror barrier. For some of us, that terror barrier is public speaking. For some of us, that terror barrier is vulnerability, connecting, putting ourselves in position to be hurt, to be judged, to be not chosen, not selected, to feel like we're not wanted. all those things
Yeah.
that we have going on in our minds, and we have to push past that, because what we know is success is on the other side of the terror barrier. It's just on
Absolutely.
the other side.
And we look forward to seeing you all on the 14th, because some of the things that we're going to talk about is really a shift in mindset,
Yes.
right? So, for example, and we won't go into it here, but we will definitely connect on it. There's so many people that have a safety net in saying that other people were promoted because of who they knew. Well, newsflash, people tend to do great things for people they know, like, and trust.
Absolutely.
If they don't know you, they don't even know that they like you or don't like
Exactly.
you, and they
Exactly.
don't trust you.
Yes.
So the negative connotation, and not to say, there are people that have the gift of gab, they're charismatic, they're extrovert, they're all these things, and they don't know how to do squat.
Right.
But because that skill leads, people feel more comfortable with them. But the truth of the matter is, most people that are able to be promoted and excel, it's because they've got a muscle that gives people the opportunity to minimize their feeling of risk,
Yes.
get to know them, see the commonalities, and then say, wow, yeah, I think Crystal could do that job.
Oh my
Because,
God.
right, yes, listen to what they say. I think Crystal could do that job means when I think of Crystal, I think of someone that I may know, like, and trust.
Yeah. And in my book, I call that the tap, Dr. Nicole, the
Yep.
tap. When you make connections with people, and you're authentic and you're vulnerable, they know what your goals are, and they can see what your potential is, and they start to tap you on shoulder for opportunities.
Yep.
So they'll say, hey, did you see that job opening? Did you see that posting? I think you'd be great for that job. Or they call you and say, I've got a position open I think would be perfect for you, right? They come up with opportunity. Or, hey, I know a great guy that I think you should meet, right? How about that part, right?
That's right.
Right?
Because here's the thing, sis. It's I remember having a client, brilliant, brilliant young lady. And I remember her saying, I don't want to go to his kid's soccer game. She was talking about her boss. And the complaint was she was shut off.
Yeah.
Her team didn't know if she really wanted to be there. But when I say off the chart brilliant, and they were trying to figure it out because she was so genius in what she did, that they were like, hey, is it us? What is it? Because she's really a rock star, but we feel like she's a stranger. When we go out for happy hour, she never comes.
Yeah.
This
That
is
was
what
me.
right? This is what her feedback was saying, right?
Yeah.
So Crystal and Dr. Nicole, what goes on in this house stays in this house. Don't you let those people know where you live. Don't you let them know that you have a hobby. Don't
Yep.
go out with them. Don't drink with them. There were all these rules that kept us separated.
Yeah.
So here is this young rock star, and she's like, why do I have to tell them what I do after work? Why do I have to go to happy hour with them? Well, that makes me feel inauthentic. When the truth of the matter is, if people don't know you,
Yep.
you in that moment have a raise of risk because they don't know who you are. And
They don't trust what they don't know.
right? And I don't know about you, but if I live next to you and you're my neighbor, and we've lived next to each other for 10 years, and we've never talked, you are not on my Christmas list.
Right. Yeah.
You could be an amazing person, but what I start to configure is something is wrong. Why we are in such close proximity, but I don't know you at all.
And I want to say here too, it's not about telling all your business.
Absolutely.
That is not what we're saying. We are not saying you go to work and you tell all your business and
You're inappropriate.
you're inappropriate. No, that's not what we're saying. But connecting, if someone asks you, how was your weekend? It's okay to share. It was great. I had a family reunion this weekend. I hadn't seen my family in a long time. And, give a little detail without sharing. You don't have to share, I'm going through a divorce and da, 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 da. You don't have to share everything that you're not comfortable with. But give people a little peek into your world other than the surface. Go if you don't have to go all the way down to the lowest level of bare naked vulnerability.
Right.
But if you just try to go one layer deeper than surface.
Right.
That is the homework for those of you who have challenges with connecting.
One layer
deeper. For now, go one layer deeper than surface, or one level deeper than where you are today with sharing and connecting. Just give a little bit more information so that people want to know more about you, so that they can see a connection. I did procurement and supply chain for 30 years. And the best salespeople are the ones that connect with you. A good salesperson can connect with you in 5 minutes or less. If they would come in my office, they're looking at my pictures. Oh, you have a dog. I have a dog. What a cute little dog. They know people love dogs, right? If you got a picture of your dog on the shelf, they are like, they're zeroed in, and they're going to talk about that dog, and they're going to tell you about a dog that they had when they were 5 years old that looked like your dog. They're going to find a way to connect with you. And a lot of procurement people, for that reason, first of all, they don't like to have salespeople in their office, and they don't want to put anything personal up because we realize how the game works, right? Mm-hmm. But it's about connecting. And what they know is, if I can connect with you deeper than surface, you'll have a little more connection with me, and you'll want to hear more of what I have to say, and I'll have a little more of a leg up than somebody who you're not connected with. Even when I would go to networking events and meet with suppliers, the ones that would send me a personal follow-up email, right, based on the conversation that we had, where it'd be like, thank you for meeting with me at the Women's Business Enterprise event or whatever, right? I truly love that red lipstick you were wearing, and that's something that they said to me at the event, right? Mm-hmm. And would love to be able to have coffee and chat. Those, I felt bad if I didn't respond.
Right.
Versus the ones that were canned, scheduled to go out after the event. You could read them and tell every person that they met got the same email, right? When I got those personal things, my natural instinct is to respond and say thank you, and give a little response back. So it's the connections that make the difference.
Well, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
What we all want, whether we're willing to admit it or not, is to be seen. Nobody wants to walk into a room, not a dog, not a child. Nobody wants to walk into a room and everybody act like they're invisible.
Exactly.
Here's a test, just a funny test. Come into a Zoom room and everybody is frozen, but they're acting frozen. That happened to me last night. They acted like they were frozen. And the joke was, when I was like, no, I saw somebody's eye blink, everybody started laughing, because even when you come into a Zoom room,
yeah,
unless there are 1,000 people in there, you want somebody to say, oh, hey, Crystal, welcome. Oh, hey, Dr. Nicole, welcome, right? And this is on a screen.
Yep.
This is on a screen, sis.
And to take that a step further, everybody wants to be seen and nobody wants to feel used.
Absolutely.
even if I have something to offer, and everybody knows I have it to offer, right? I'm the procurement person, I'm writing the check, right? And I know people are there and they're trying to get business. I don't want to feel used. I want you to, if you can connect with me and make me feel like it's something a little different, like even if I don't get the business, you're a really cool person and it was nice to meet you, and if it's anything I can do to serve you and show that you are interested in not just me, even the company. You've done your research. You know that the company may have an issue with X, Y, and Z, and you have a solution that can fix it. And you're coming from the standpoint of, I want to serve you and your company and help you, versus I need business from you, I need a PO from you, I need money from you, right? It's a different mindset. It's, I'm coming to serve and connect. And even if we don't do business right now, even if we're not friends forever, this is not a lost connection. This is not this is not a fruitless conversation, because we're connecting. Does that make sense?
Listen, total sense. It's interesting because we have the opportunity to make moments and memories with every human being that we meet.
Yes.
Literally. And Dr. Maya Angelou said, people will remember how you made them feel.
Yep.
So one of the things that we'll share with you, and again, you've got to come to Woman Unlimited August the 14th, 9 a.m. So watch your church service early if that's what you do, or get your list of things taken care of Saturday night. So Sunday morning at 9 a.m. we can be in the room together, because it's these conversations and nuances that shift your trajectory towards acceleration. And we will talk about our method of liberation, activation, and acceleration that really shifted our trajectory individually.
Yeah.
And then when we compared notes, we were like, oh, wait a minute. Now we can help other women do this in a really meaningful way, monetizing their business, pivoting to purpose, all of these things. So you got to be in the room. But I'll say this as a last kind of thought. When we plug into a socket, so you got this beautiful lamp. You just bought this lamp. The lamp is amazing. You've got sockets on the wall. If the lamp is working, you plug the lamp in, voila,
Light.
It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. But if you have a cover, a safety cover, those child safe covers over the socket, you're trying to plug in and you're getting no traction.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Same lamp. The lamp works, but it is not able to do its job and be its genius because it can't get energy from the other side.
Yeah.
Let's think about networking that way. Crystal said, go one level below. Plug in just a little bit.
Yep.
Right? Take the safety cover off. There are no children in the room.
Yes.
Nobody's sticking a hairpin in the socket.
Right.
So let's remove that excuse. Nobody's dying today. Okay?
Right.
Nobody's dying because you went up to a group and said hello. So let's take that away and let's go one step, one level lower and say, you know what? If I'm amazing, and nobody knows, nobody's been able to connect with me to see the light go up, to see the light illuminate the room, I'm cheating them.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm not offering my best and I haven't given them an opportunity to offer their best.
That's right.
So what was the point?
Exactly.
What was the point?
Exactly.
You
So
know?
yeah, and I see somebody says, yes, you are correct, Nicole. People want to be noticed. Absolutely. People, connections are key. I see that too. Everybody wants to be seen and heard. So we hope to see you all in the room
Yes.
Saturday at Woman Unlimited Live, Saturday, August 14th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We will
Yes.
be in the room. We will have amazing conversations. And if you really know the power of being in the room, you want to be a VIP at this event.
Absolutely.
Because not only will you get the opportunity to meet amazing people that are like-minded
Yeah.
and that are also looking to shine their light in service, humility, and excellence. You'll also get to spend some one-on-one time with Dr. Nicole and I to really talk about and plot out and plan the strategy for your next and figure out where you are in the cycle of growth and what is the next step towards your breakthrough.
Ooh, yummy. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
Ultimate, most meaningful yet.
Yeah.
Yummy. You don't want to miss that.
Yes.
You don't. You really don't. And you have to be in the room to really understand.
Yep.
We've had women that have come to Woman Unlimited Live and they've said, I haven't laughed that much in a long time. You and Crystal are the coolest, quirkiest, most genuine. I feel like we're right in the same room because we say things like, don't eye my snacks. This is my snack, my skinny popcorn. Get your own skinny popcorn, right? So it's crazy humor and it's real stuff because we see everybody in the room and we talk about how is your genius showing up
Absolutely.
and who's waiting for you.
Yes.
Waiting. They're like waiting in line
For you to show up.
for you to show up.
It's like Starbucks. They're in the Starbucks line waiting on your light to shine.
Okay. So we look forward to seeing you.
Yes.
We look forward to sharing a whole lot of stuff that's going to make your life easier,
Yeah.
make your conversation of monetization easier,
Yeah.
make your understanding of purpose and what it really means to be free easier, because free women, free women.
Free women, free women.
Get that? Did you get that? We
Love
will
you
see
guys.
you on August 14th. Bye, you guys.
Bye.